Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. Hey, we are here, episode 499, I.O.W Sports Show, late night owl edition. Man, a lot of NFL action to talk about. I mean, the divisional round, we're going to recap it, give our takes on it. Championship weekend is this weekend. Hey, it's going to be dope. AFC, NFC championship weekend. Hey, some coaches. I know Randy's excited to talk about the new hire up in up there in East Rutherford. So I know we'll talk about that, all that and more. So hey man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Hey man, let's get to it. Let's go.
Yeah, Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep, go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laps in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. About to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is, man. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. Your man Walcott Bar in the building. Hey, my man Randy Weber. I know it's Wednesday, but we're gonna try to give y'all at least a good 45 minutes or a solid hour, some good content. So man, we're not gonna waste no time, man. How you doing, bro, man? What's good? What's good? You muted.
Oh, after the
Hey,
news? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
yeah. You muted yourself. You were so excited that you muted yourself, bro.
I know I don't know what to do with my hands. I have all this hope. It's crazy.
You do it.
Yeah, no, how I'm doing, I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling vigilance.
Well, you know what? Let's not waste no time. So, hey, man, talk about it, man. Obviously there's been a lot of coaching situations that's going on. People getting fired, getting hired. Um, so let's start with John Harbaugh. I think he was one of the first dominoes, if not the first domino to fall on the coaching carousel. You big blue, go blue Giants, from the New York Football Giants, and a Super Bowl winning head coach in John Harbaugh. Man, talk about it, man.
Oh, it's the best news that has happened in the Giants world probably since like the Eli years. I mean, and it's just the coaching has been consistently terrible since Tom Coughlin. We had that one really good year with Dayball.
Mm-hmm.
I still am hot and cold on Dayball. I think he did some things well and some things very badly, but certainly not this caliber of coach. He was never going to be the one that's leading like a consistent top team. And we have someone who is now. The coordinators, Kafka and Bowen, both needed to go. Todd Monken might be replacing Kafka, and I'm all hyped about that. I don't know who's going to be the defensive coordinator, but one of the reasons why I really like this is because outside of the Ravens, because the Ravens and I mean now the Bills, which we'll talk about, beside from those two teams, we would be, I think, the next team to be very appealing in terms of the roster you already have. You already have a quarterback that looks good. You have Cam Scatterbo. You have a very good running game. We were one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL this year. Between Dart, Scatterbo, and Tracy. We have Malik Neighbors, we don't know who they're going to be drafting at 5. My ideal pick would be Carnell Tate. If so, then you have a great receiving core right there between Neighbors, Tate, and Robinson.
Y'all don't get some damn O-line and stop playing, man.
Well, okay, the tackle situation is good, and you wouldn't normally pick a guard at 5. So I'm cool picking a guard in the top of the second. But regardless, the O-line has been better. It was one of the better ones. We were 4th in pass blocking efficiency this past year when Thomas and Illuminor were both in the lineup. I think that we have interior O-line issues, but this is the best O-line structure we've had in a very long time.
Oh no, I was just being funny. No, you're absolutely
okay.
You definitely like you get you a guard like later in the first, high second. Like you don't not at 5.
right. I do think the guards are very undervalued, but I'm not at 5. It's on the board. But I mean, so you have that situation. You can get some guards. The defense is stacked with talent that massively underperformed, I think, entirely because of Shane Bowen. I know that we were one of, if not the worst rushing offenses. Our secondary was very bad. But if you actually look at the personnel, even the personnel that we acquired in the offseason, Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland, they were both top 10 in their positions only 1 year ago. All of a sudden now they've both dropped off. Dexter Lawrence, who has been the best defensive tackle in the NFL, one of the best defensive players or players in general in the NFL, all of a sudden dropping off. Even Deontay Banks, his first year with Wink was like solid. It wasn't as bad as he became after that. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Wink comes back as your DC.
Yeah, without Dayball there anymore, since that seemed to be the big issue. I could see it. And I wouldn't mind that at all, with Harbaugh leading the charge.
Mm-hmm.
I think
familiar with each other.
Yeah, I think new coaching with all of that defensive talent and offensive talent, like this could be the team that dominates the NFC East for the next few years. I'm that hopeful. The Eagles are already looking like they're on the decline. They have a ton of their own issues. And the Cowboys and Commanders are both a mess right now. So, like this, we're up. We are up right now. We are back up.
No defense in Dallas and no defense in Washington, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah. So you got all of that, and then I believe, and I know that it was rumored that he was asking for this. I haven't seen all of the full details on his contract, but I think that one of the deals with him was that he wanted to pick his own GM. And if he picks his own GM, then Joe Shane is finally gone. And if Joe Shane is finally gone, we are up.
He said we up.
We are up, bro.
We out here. Hey, so we out here. No, you should feel good. Look, and I get it. There's gonna be some chatter, especially some Baltimore fans that might feel some type of way about John Harbaugh, but at the same time, they still understand what that man did in winning a Super Bowl. And hey, look, I get it. Was it 18, 19 years he spent in Baltimore? So it was necessary for a change of scenery.
Yeah, and also like two Ravens fans who are looking at this, because I've had a few Ravens fans tell me like, oh, you're going to see why we fired him in the first place. Y'all were a team that was on the brink of getting to the Super Bowl multiple years. And the fact you're telling the Giants, who have had Ben McAdoo, Pat Shermer, Joe Judge, that we should reject a Super Bowl winning coach because he didn't win a second Super Bowl?
Oh no!
You're gonna go outside and tell the homeless man you should hold up on that sandwich. You should hold up on it, because maybe filet mignon is coming around. Like, no, bro, I'm just trying to get to the playoffs, man. Let me be happy.
He said, "Let me be happy." No, and you never know what he might be able to do with a change of scenery and the culture that he can build in that facility. I mean, it might, you know, change some things around there. I mean, when's the last time, like you said, it's since Tom Coughlin, you haven't had that championship winning mentality or culture in that building since Tom Coughlin.
Mm-hmm.
So because he does have that championship caliber resume and culture that he's built in Baltimore, hey, who knows what he could bring? You when you have been down for at least at least like 15 years now.
Yeah. Since 2011, we had a spike in 2016 and 2022, but it's just been that otherwise.
Yeah, hey, it's time to turn it back around. Like you can't get a young guy to do this. You can't get a first time coach to do this. Because and I get it. There are some first time coaches that are seeing some success. Liam Cohen comes to mind. Obviously, what he's done this year, but there's probably a lot of stars that lined up for that. Like,
yeah, Ben Johnson, another one, but like,
yeah,
it's true. You can't just assume that young coaches are very risky. There was a reason why Ben Johnson was unique in how sought after he was, because he was such a unique coaching prospect. Most coaches that are available are not going to be that obvious.
Not at all. Not at all. So it's like you expecting to find a needle in a haystack on a first year or rookie head coach to just do what Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen did this year, like far in between. That's not a regular type of situation. So those are anomalies, like a mug. Like so, but no. Look, I think hey, who sees it? Who says it can't work? Like you said, I think and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm a Giants fan, just getting to the playoffs is just fine, and I know that's progress.
Yeah, it's just going in the right direction.
Yeah,
building off of it, and that's fine, especially with such a young quarterback, right? Like, he'll get better over time.
Yeah. So I actually kind of like the hire for John Harbaugh. I don't know if he, he's like, damn, man, maybe I could have waited a couple more days.
No, that's why the second he walked in the building, they locked all the doors. And they were like, bro, you're signing this. They did it to maybe at gunpoint. I don't know, but they got it done. And that's the kind of aggression that I need.
Ain't no lie. It was like, once I saw that he was doing the interview, I was like, they're not gonna let him leave that building. No way they let them leave that building. And a few hours later, that's when they reported got hired. But obviously, I think it took a few days to actually get the contract signed and whatnot. But whatever, it's signed, it's sealed, it's the ink is dry on it. John Harbaugh is in East Rutherford. He's not a head coach of the Giants.
Speaking of because we'll get to most of the big coaching changes. Your team just made a big coaching hire. I don't know if you saw it. I think it just dropped on NFL like 30 minutes ago?
No. We've been talking about it. We were talking about it last night on our Chiefs podcast. Bieniemy coming back.
Yeah, I really like that. I don't know what you think.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, because we had talked about it a few months ago, and at first I was like, retread. I'm like, I guess. I'm like, because it's like, I was always looking at it at this point of view, because I've always thought highly of Eric Bieniemy. I'm like, why isn't he getting the head coaching jobs?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of more like, damn, he keeps getting stuck in this OC role. I'm like, bro, he needs to be a head coach. So I'm just kind of more like, that's what kind of really bothers me about the situation.
I agree for sure.
But
It's good for your team. It's bad for him. He deserves better.
oh yes,
Flores and
that's
he
the
deserves better.
that's the and I get it. Brian Flores got the extension with the Vikings today, so congratulations on that. But I feel the same way about him. Like, damn, like that's good for the team, but man, like stop screwing with my boy, dog. Like he needs to be a head coach. Like Brian Flores needs to be a head coach.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of like, man, that's the kind of bittersweet, I guess, emotions that I get about that news about EB coming back to KC. But one thing I do know is, he did bring that accountability. He did not. A lot of the problems that the Chiefs had this year, they were ranked in the top 10 of most penalized teams in the NFL. And that's usually uncharacteristic of Andy Reid team.
Yeah.
And
you have like individual guys like Jawan Taylor that have that reputation, but the team is usually overall good in that way.
It's funny that you bring that up. That Jawan Taylor shit would have never happened under Eric Bieniemy. Really pit would have never happened. He'd have been like, I don't care how much money you cost, you're costing the team. I don't care what your contract is, that $20 million of it, you have wasted $20 million. He would have told him straight to his face.
Yeah. It would have.
EB's that he's old school. I had no problem with it. Matter of fact, Travis Kelce was talking about it. He loves Eric Bieniemy. I actually think that might even try to play on him to come back.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I think that one of the reasons why I really like the Eric Bieniemy signing is you saw how the offense started to go in the wrong direction when he left.
Yeah.
I think he was very important in helping to develop Patrick Mahomes. And
yeah,
I think that going back to what worked, in my mind, if I was running the Chiefs, I would look at that and be like, okay, what is the formula that's worked for us? Eric Bieniemy, big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
A star tight end for Patrick Mahomes, a big body mismatched tight end. I was thinking, I've been doing mock drafts and stuff. I was thinking maybe this would be an ideal Kenyon Sadiq landing, specifically for that reason. If Kelsey's going anyway, kind of just try to rebuild what made the dynasty work. I know not everyone likes taking a tight end that high. I get it,
Randy. No, trust me. And this is why I got so much love for you, bro. It's because I already had that same conversation, and I know I got the same pushback from other people. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I know you don't get a tight end at 9. I know you don't. But Sadiq is a freaking nature.
Yeah. And tight ends are wide receivers, right? Like they're not usually deep threats, but they serve another kind of receiving role. You can get someone like a Warren, who ends up being your lead receiver, or a Bowers.
You get to learn from Travis Kelce for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Just hypothetically, obviously, just crazy scenario. They take Sadiq at 9. Travis somehow gets coached to come back in for 1 more year. They draft him at 9. You get to learn from Hall of Fame tight end, and you really usher in your tight end his historic run from Travis Kelce to Sadiq for the rest of Patrick's 9 more years left. So he goes from Travis Kelce to hopefully a Sadiq. That was my scenario. I thought the same thing too, bro.
You run a lot of 12 personnel for that year too, and that'd be something special for that year,
bro. Because like who. And say what you want, Travis Kelce, and I kind of thought he kind of got robbed of some little tight end all pro, because I'm like, my man was kind of really being shifty out there. Like he actually looked pretty solid this year, movement wise, physical wise. Like he dropped the weight, and so I don't know, man. Trust me, when you just said that, I'm like, bro, I had the same thing already in my mind.
Okay.
Because here's some of the people that, and not to get off topic, some of the things that I want for the Chiefs. Obviously, I need an edge rusher. I need. I was already thinking tight end. If one of those top end receivers falls to us at 9, take them. If they're sitting there at the board, I think you'd snatch them. Because I think we still got some question marks on that wide receiver room, despite what we already have here. Trust me, if you watch Chiefs games, you understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
then,
no, for sure. Receiving is always been kind of iffy in this era of.
And if somehow Jeremiah Love just falls 9, I think you snatch him.
Okay.
Because our running game wasn't great, and I will say this: our running backs were more productive under Eric Bieniemy. So imagine he gets his hands on Jeremiah Love, and that helps Patrick Mahomes. That's what really bothers me with some of the things that with the organization, and it seems like I'm being like a brat because we got 3 Super Bowls, and I partly I kind of am.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Eric Bieniemy is going to force him, and shout out to Chris Uno Cero. He was on the Chiefs podcast with us. He was like, Eric Bieniemy is going to force Andy to run the ball, because that's what Eric Bieniemy does. He's not afraid to, hey man, come on, let's switch it up. Let's get the running game going or something. And imagine Jeremiah Love back there that can help extend the life of Patrick Mahomes. He's not taking in all the bruising and beating and not all the workload of the offensive game plan. Come on, man. If you give my man Patrick Mahomes a 1,200-yard rusher year in and year out for the next 5-6 years, oh my God. Load up the trophy case, goddammit. I'm just being for real. So
Okay.
So those are just kind of my thoughts for draft wise for the Chiefs, but we'll see. But yeah, man, this coaching carousel was crazy. I did like the John Harbaugh going to your Giants. I know a lot of people looked at Kevin Stefanski, that hire in Atlanta, kind of funny. I always kind of looked at it this way when I saw that hiring. They're going to keep Jeff Ulbrich, the D coordinator, so that was smart. But with Kevin Stefanski, hey, he's a 2-time coach of the year, and he can get some offense going. So imagine if he can get this offense going.
Yeah, it's another pretty appealing roster. And first of all, I do think that it's funny and ironic that he leaves the Shador Sanders team to go to Deion Sanders' team. It's just funny irony there. But
yes. I didn't even look at that.
Yeah. I mean, it's another one. I mean, the reason why I was pretty bullish on the Falcons going into the season was if Penix ended up being good, which I expected him to be much better than he was, everything else is more or less in place. You got the O-line, Chris Lindstrom-led O-line that's pretty consistently good. You have Bijan Robinson, who might be the best running back in the NFL right now. You have Drake London. You had a generally good receiving group, and you had what ended up being basically a top 3 safety duo, at least in the NFL, if not the best safety duo. Really, the only issue was the defensive line, and then they addressed it. And James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker both looked like D-Roy candidates, especially Pierce Jr. So the pieces are there. I do actually really like this signing because I think if you get a good experienced coach who knows what he's doing, if he can develop Penix and if Penix can stay healthy, you do have a really good team here. And in the most wide open division, especially depending on, if Baker comes back healthy, that's like basically your only serious competition consistently right now.
I mean, we'll see if the Panthers can be consistent, and that's like you said, that's still up for debate. I mean, Falcons, Buccaneers, Panthers all finished 8-9. So I mean, like you said, and don't you rule out them damn Saints the way that Tyler Shaw was playing, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And like, just imagine that he started the whole season.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, like, I think that he was good. He was definitely good. He definitely had some great comeback moments. I do think that maybe he was bolstered a little bit by A, low expectations, and B,
I hear you, Randy, but he played a lot better than what the hell I thought he was.
Exactly. Low expectations. Yeah. Low expectations and pretty weak competition. I don't know how sustainable that is, but he was good. I don't think he was bad. And it does create an additional competition in this division. It's certainly not the NFC West or anything, but you know, like any of these teams could rise up. If I had to bet, though, I think the Falcons would be the ones that would rise. Of course, depending on Penix and his health.
Yeah. Jeff Halfley goes from Green Bay, DC to Miami. I don't mind that hire because I know that that defense in Miami was actually pretty solid this year, so I know he's going to make that better.
The defensive front was, yeah.
Yes.
They got to work on the secondary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just Minka Fitzpatrick. He can't cover the whole field. So
right. Yeah. But they'll address that in the draft, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Now, obviously, they need a quarterback because they already made it clear they're moving on from Tua, in my opinion. And you got to get I got to see his OC hire, who they get.
The question, I do have questions about the whole Tua situation, and it's similar to my questions with the Kyler situation because in both these cases, it looks like their teams really do want to move off of them.
Oh, they get.
They both have contracts that are not over, and they both are going to need to eat a lot of dead cap. I don't think either of these quarterbacks has a lot of trade value, so.
But you know what's
not sure how they move off of them.
You know what's crazy, Randy? And it's funny that you bring up the dead cap. I think teams don't even care no more about eating dead cap no more. I just think teams are really at that point, especially when it comes to quarterback, because we've seen the Eagles do it. They ate a whole bunch of Carson Wentz dead cap.
Broncos with Russ
ate a whole bunch of dead cap. I think teams are really at this point where they feel like, yo, he's not our guy. All right. Okay. I just think teams, especially ownerships, they're like, well, and the GM is looking like, well, hey, that's a cap hit about this. They're just like, well, I don't care. We're making money hand over fist over here. Like, get the guy. Go get the guy. I think teams don't care about eating the dead cap no more. So at this point, way to get rid of motherfuckers, man.
I get it. I would agree more if I thought that there were good alternatives available for them, but I don't really know. Dante Moore's not declaring for the draft. So Fernando Mendoza is locked as a Raider. That's not even a question unless they somehow fuck that up. And Ty Simpson would be like the way out if the Jets don't take him at 2, but I think you'd have to really believe in Ty Simpson in order to be like, I'm going to eat a ton of dead cap just to move Tua or Kyler off and take Ty Simpson. And I think Ty Simpson is a very good quarterback. I think the Jets very likely will just take him at 2 and not risk it. And if they do that, I mean, are you just going to bring in a vet minimum? I mean, you might as well just tank with the guy you have and save the money. Like, if you're just going to do that, bring in like a Joe Flacco or whatever, it's like, well, you're tanking regardless then. Like, that's not anything. You might as well save the money at that point.
I mean, well, when it comes to the Jets, they're not even losing a shit ton of money off of Justin Fields anyway, so that benefits them.
Yeah. They're in a good position to just take the quarterback.
Yeah, they're definitely in a better position to just fuck it. go get the guy.
Yeah. Right. And I know that his draft stock got hurt by how he played later in the season. He was banged up.
He was.
I don't. Yeah. So I think if I was the Jets, I would just take him at 2 and not put myself in a position where now I have to figure out what I'm doing.
Well, here's my thing. Because you did just mention it a second ago, trade value. I don't see, unfortunately, is athletic, gifted that Kyler Murray is. He's like damn near probably like God. You like damn near gave him like attribute 99 on the whole like stat sheet. All right. I mean, gifted when it comes to being just an athlete. He's just under 6 foot.
Yeah.
And it's not helping him because he can be as gifted as he is when it comes to athleticism. It's not getting him out of being able to do the things as a quarterback that needs to get done in the NFL. He's struggling. Point blank period. Especially when it comes to durability. Down the stretch of a 17-game season, and they're going to start moving in to 18 when they decide to vote it in soon in the next couple of years. He's not making it through this season. He wasn't making it through 16. He's not making it through 17. So, like, yeah, it's going to be hard to find somebody still going to, because obviously the NFL is the second chance opportunities for, number 1 overall picks. And somebody's going to try to resurrect his career. I can fix him. I can fix him. And they'll fleece, and then Arizona will fleece a first out of somebody because it's a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they could. The Steelers are always an option since they're not really in a position to get a quarterback again. So maybe they're like, let's see what we can do with him. And I don't think that's a bad landing spot for him. You get him some more receiver help outside of just DK, and he might be able to do something over there.
I'm sorry, DK's overrated for me.
I mean, maybe at this point in his career, I still like DK, but
I just always thought he's just a big muscle bound, like just go route guy. Maybe throw some slants every now and then, hella speed, but besides the slant and the go route, I'm like, that's pretty much.
It is. I just the mismatch ability that he creates. How many corners really can consistently cover him? Like just because of the size.
Yeah, but him catching the ball is 50-50 in those mismatch situations.
Yeah. I don't disagree. That's true.
That's why I'm just like.
But also, I mean, the biggest problem with him is just that they're probably not going to have him for that much longer. He's old. Like he's not a long-term solution. I still think that he's good, but he's A, not a long-term solution, and B, can't be your only receiver of any quality at all.
Yeah.
Aside from like your tight end, like even when he's the 3 or 4 games a year you get from him.
Yeah. Well, I say this now that Jeff Hafley's been hired in Miami. Obviously, he needs to make that decision if Tua needs to stick around or not, because that was Mike McDaniel's call, or that could have been owner's call. We'll see. But I will say this: whoever they decide to hire in Arizona, because they still haven't hired their guy yet, that'd obviously be his decision if Kyler Murray's worth keeping or moving off of. A lot of crazy situations like that. I thought I'd never see the day that Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills job would be open right now.
So
that's crazy right now.
Yeah. So, and I'll talk about that, the Bills, especially when we get to the divisional round games. I am also surprised, and I mean, there's been a lot of conversation why McDermott and not Bean, and I can't help but agree that seems like Bean is the one that, if anyone was supposed to go from that situation, it would be him.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's not McDermott's fault that they never replaced Diggs. It's not McDermott's fault that Bean is so worried about other people's opinions and so sensitive that he calls it on radio shows to argue with radio hosts who are like, "Hey, why don't we have a receiver?" Like, I don't know. I thought McDermott was doing a fine job. I didn't look at that game, and we'll talk about the problems with that game, but I didn't look at that game and think that was a terrible play calling job. You know, that this is terrible talent development. That's why they lost this. So I don't know. I think that McDermott was kind of used as a sacrificial lamb there, and I don't know if moving off of him was the right idea. We'll see who they end up getting.
Yeah.
This is about as good a time to need a head coach as you will have, but I don't know if they're going to find a better one.
Yeah, and trust me, because I think you are 100% right in your analysis. I definitely agree with the part that I think Brandon Bean, the GM, definitely needs to holster a lot of some of this blame on why the Bills never got over the hump, because if McDermott is reported saying that this was not a team that was built to win a championship, he wasn't lying.
No,
this roster was not built to win a championship. It was built to compete to try to get to the Super Bowl. What is not built to win a actual championship. So
I also to clarify, it was a good time to need a head coach maybe like a week ago. I don't know if it still is, because Saleh went to the Titans, so he's gone. Most of the most desirable ones are gone, but there are still some coordinator options that I like Kubiak and Shula, that look good. But this cycle, I would say, but now it's starting to run a little thin. I don't know who the best option left is.
Yeah.
They might take Dayball. Dayball helped develop Josh Allen.
Yeah, some of the seats are starting to set up. So, but the crazy thing about McDermott getting fired, look, I because we've had this conversation before, because I was actually 2 years ahead of schedule. I was actually saying, like, man, it might be time to move on, because you keep hitting the glass ceiling, same voice. And I understand that he's brought a lot of regular season success, playoff appearances. I understand that, but it's like, bro, you keep glass ceiling, and we got to remember that he is a defensive minded head coach. Like, defensive side of the ball was his forte, and there were times where his defense was just not good. And yes, Brandon Bean is part of that problem, because he was getting old past their prime as defenders. They're old and slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joey Bosa, which ended up being a solid 1 year cheap addition, tying for the lead in forced fumbles, looking like a comeback player of the year candidate. But I mean, this 1 year, you're not signing him again. He's going to be 31. So what, I don't know, what did that really do in the long term? Like, you need to develop people. The rush defense, the rushing defense, one of the worst in the NFL. And this is something that I was thinking about with the whole Bills thing. People forget that the Bills are not a very well-run organization. And the reason that people forget that is because a lot of sins get forgiven when you have an elite quarterback. It's a real thing. And the Bengals have benefited from it too, because they got into Joe Burrow. Now, to the Bills' credit, when they got Josh Allen, he was not good. They got him entirely off of traits. He was raw as hell, and they developed him. So they do get credit for doing that. But having an elite quarterback show up on your team does make people forget how bad an organization is run. And like the Bills have never been a well-run organization. Uh, and there are some teams where it just seems like things always work out for them, and there are other teams where it seems like nothing ever works out for them. Like I think the Patriots and the Seahawks is like the organizations, things just seem to work out for them. And then you look at a team like the Jets, where it's like, or the Browns, where it's like nothing they do works ever. It's just even if it seems smart on paper, like the Aaron Rodgers stuff that the Jets were doing and the way the defense looked, all it just fell apart. Just curse, I guess. And then they're the Bills, and it's just like, which organization are they actually more like in terms of their operation and processing? It's like they're not really more like the Patriots and Seahawks. They're more like the Jets and Browns. At least they're closer to it, but they happen to have an elite quarterback, so they get to the playoffs. They get to championship games, and it's like, okay, we've kind of forgotten that there's a lot wrong with the way the team is run, and that's why they haven't gone even further. Bengals, same thing. They have been historically one of the most worst run franchises in football, and then they get Joe Burrow because they get the first overall pick. He's basically plug and play. They don't have to do much, and he gets them to a Super Bowl. He gets them to a championship game. He's been injured, but in the past couple of years we've started to see, because they haven't succeeded, like, oh, this is not a well-run team. They just got lucky because they have Joe Burrow. And that last year was the best example because they couldn't even make the playoffs with him balling the fuck out.
3 years in a row they missed the playoffs. At some point in time, Mr. Joey B, who likes to win, is going to get sick and tired of missing the playoffs.
Yeah, like, I don't think he wants a team that's fighting with their only good defensive player over chump change. I shouldn't say they're only good, but like by far their best over chump change, right? Like it's just like, okay, well, we're never going to win anything, I guess then. So yeah, I think that's I think that Sean McDermott was the sacrificial lamb, and I do think we also need to have a Josh Allen conversation, which we will when we get to the games. I don't know if you want to start talking about the games now.
Yeah. Because let's jump into a divisional round first. Recap that, and that was the game that kicked it off. Was that Broncos and Bills game last week. So went into overtime. I'm just gonna say this real quick when it comes to the Broncos. Bo Nix was solid. He didn't wow me, but I've seen a lot of Bo Nix over the last couple of years, and he's good for some up and down moments, and some moments that look great, and some moments that make you like kind of like scratch your head. But obviously that defense, caused a lot of turnovers, but they still gave up 30 points. So I'm like, But I will say this, and about the Bills, man, it was right there for you. It was right there for you. But we just got to just be honest about this situation, man. All right. And this is directed towards the actual media folks that just love to just hype your man up. All right. I get it. You want to put him on a pedestal. Cool. I like Josh Allen. I think he is actually a very talented quarterback. He's, I once compared him to the white Cam Newton, because Cam Newton was a problem for at least a stretch of 7-8 years. He was a problem. All right. And when you got that type of body type and athleticism and a threat when it comes to your feet and your legs, and literally that's a problem. You're hard to sack, um, and you can throw the ball damn near a whole 100 yards. I'm exaggerating, but you can you got a cannon on the arm. Like that's a dangerous combination for a quarterback, and for him to have that many overthrows, underthrows, uh, turnovers, and that silly turnover before the halftime was the kicker for me, because it looked like some goofy ass circus, like Three Stooges movie. They just I was just like, the hell are you doing, Josh Allen?
Mm-hmm. No, I think that the reason why Sean McDermott, I think more than anything, was the sacrificial lamb. I think part of it is obviously they seemed, for whatever reason, wanted to promote Bean. Cannot imagine why, but they did.
They promoted him.
Yeah, they did. They looked at that situation and was just like, you deserve a raise. I was like, all right. I didn't see what you saw, but okay.
Bro.
Yeah. Josh Allen is obviously a very good to great quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. He is very boom or bust. We've seen a lot of that this year. I mean, the game against the Falcons, the game against the Dolphins, the first game against the Patriots. He can give you that 6 touchdown game that he had against the Buccaneers, and he can also give you a mess. And he can give you somewhere in between, right? Like we're at like 4 touchdowns, but also 3 turnovers. Like he's very capable of just that kind of boom or bust play. And he basically has always been, since being developed and being this echelon of quality quarterback, he has always kind of been like that. The only reason he wasn't last year when he won MVP was because they focused so much more on running the ball, which was part of James Cook's ascension. And so him doing less led to less turnovers. I mean, if you look at the stats in the playoffs last year, like he was pretty often under, but not even just the playoffs, just all season, he was very often under 200 passing yards. And they won. And like that's fine. But I do think that, especially with Josh Allen, especially with the way the Bills fans see him and the way the NFL sees him and the way the media sees him, he is basically not allowed to be criticized. If he ever loses, it's somebody else's fault. Always. And he has one of the best running backs in the NFL. He has the lead rusher. He has a very good offensive line. His receiving situation does suck, but he also has one of the better tight end groups. Like he's not alone out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's really just the wide receivers. Everything else on his situation is fine.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the rushing defense was bad. The passing defense was one of the best in the NFL. Granted, part of that is probably also because people were running the ball. The numbers kind of get skewed because of that kind of stuff. But whatever. Like, he was not in a bad situation. He was not on a bad roster the way that Burrow was last year, where it was his receivers and nothing else. I think that they really need to have a serious conversation about Josh Allen, and the media doesn't want to have that. And when I say serious conversation, I don't mean cutting him or trading him or anything. That would be insane. But figuring out how to minimize his turnovers and maybe just being more of a rush first offense, which does seem to work more often than not. So many of those turnovers were very obviously Josh Allen's fault. The only one that wasn't was the McMillan play.
Yeah.
And I also want to know what you think of that. What do you think of that call and also the PI calls at the end?
I'll say this. So the interception, that last one, the McMillan play, the next day they had a play in the Rams and Bears game where I can't remember who the person. I think it was Devontae, where he kind of made a catch and uh, the defender had almost kind of they did the same thing that McMillan did and got his arms in there and took the ball away, but the receiver's body is on the ground. And they called that a catch in the Rams game. And I was like, whoa, you got to go back to the night before and call that the same way. If you call it an interception the night before, you got to call it an interception now. So, again, here we are in 2026 as a calendar year, but 2025 season, where we have no idea what the hell a catch is. We have no idea what it is because the refs don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because they're not referencing it as a what is a catch. So they until they figure out what the hell the catch is, they still are struggling for the last 100 and almost damn near 6 years that they've been having NFL around. Still don't know what the fuck catch is. So
Right. And like, yeah, no, it's true. The reffing is very inconsistent. I don't even necessarily, both with the McMillan play and also with the 2 PI calls, I don't necessarily look at them and be like, that is egregious, right? Like, I think you could look at them and be like, it's gray area enough where I can understand in all of those cases why they went the way they did.
now I'll be honest,
The
Ray.
problem is consistency, I think, more than anything.
Oh yeah, consistency is a problem. Now here's where I might be in the minority when it comes to the PIs. It didn't bother me because I'm like, when you get grabby and you start taking a receiver's arm away for them, restricting them to try to catch the ball, they're gonna throw the flag on you. So I'm kind of like, so I mean, I get it. Like, so for me, when they're both hand fighting, but at some point in time when the ball is in the area to try to catch it, and you like got my man's hand, I gotta throw the flag on you.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. And like PI especially PI is one of the easiest to be. It's one of the most subjective kinds of flags. Like I've seen so many very egregious PI calls, some very egregious PI misses. Yeah, Saints fans certainly remember.
Oh yeah, they're still mad about that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still mad about the one from this year. I think it was Andrew Phillips. I'm the one from the Giants Eagles game. I'm still mad about that. I will never not be mad about that. And yet, I don't know. I'm not going into all that, but it's like that. But like, even if I were to concede to Bills fans that I wouldn't have made those calls, Bills fans have become kind of babies. Like, I mean, they got a rule change because of one of their playoff losses. Their GM is notoriously a huge baby, and it makes it hard to want to side with them. Especially when they won't look at their quarterback who had 4 turnovers, 3 of which were clearly his fault, and a bunch of obvious missed throws to wide open receivers that really is what cost them the game. If he had just been on the mark for those last 2 passes in regulation, the game would have been over. You don't even get there.
We're not even having this conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to they don't want to go there, and it's like you shouldn't have been in this position in the first place. Like you have what last year's MVP, a consensus top 4 at least quarterback in the NFL. Like, get the wide open throw.
Got to make the plays. Hey, remember somebody had they had also brought up that 2-point conversion he had missed against the Philly with the game on the line.
Yep.
Wide open, to Shakir. And it's just like, hey,
he's a lot like And this is going to sound entirely like praise because he's considered one of the greatest ever, but it is both praise and criticism. He's a lot like Brett Favre. Brett Favre was also like that. He was super boom or bust. He would actively win games for his team, and he would also lose games for his team.
Fair.
That is kind of like the Josh Allen experience, and that doesn't mean that you can never win a Super Bowl with that guy. I'm sure. I'm not sure, but there's a very good chance he eventually will. He
got
certainly
one.
has the talent.
Right. Look, Favre walked away with one. So
Right, he could walk away with. Yeah, Josh Allen could absolutely walk away with one. But will he lead a consistent dynasty without the consistent efficiency? That I would be less confident in. But walking away with one, absolutely within the cards. As for the Broncos side of it,
yeah,
Bo Nix, I do think played well. I think that he played better than expected. I mean, he put 33. Like I know I thought that he had a good game. Not an elite game, but a good game. I don't think he was considerably worse than Allen. He might have even been better within the context of that game. I do think that he's a little underrated.
Yeah.
He's he has his bad games, he has his bad moments, but he's capable of some very good play.
I feel that.
What's the next one?
I did not that other game that Saturday night. It really wasn't a game. It was a beatdown, a boot to ass moment. Seahawks with the whooping on 49ers. Go ahead, give me your thoughts on that one. if you want to, I mean, you ain't got to waste time on it.
I don't. It was. I guess my only real thoughts on it is this was kind of supposed to happen much earlier than it did for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Considering all the injuries they had. The fact that it finally happened in the divisional round of the playoffs is a huge testament to Shanahan. And also a huge middle finger to the Eagles who got beat by that team. So I love that. But yeah, I mean the Seahawks were obviously the better team. Mm-hmm. And the 49ers finally walked into a team that no amount of Shanahan magic and CMC could stop. Like, just absolutely loaded team. Great game from basically everyone. Darnold didn't really have to do much at all. Fantastic running game. And I mean, now that for whatever reason they didn't want to use Walker, they wanted to use Chardonnay. Chardonnay gets hurt. Walker comes in, has a phenomenal game. I don't know why Walker's not their RB1. I think that he's been pretty clearly better. But the defense absolutely destroyed the 49ers. Leonard Williams, I miss him dearly, had a fantastic game. It's a great team. The only real question is Darnold at this point. And Darnold has been great for most of this season. Yeah. So that might not who knows if that's still a question. It's just hard to get previous Darnold out of your brain, but had two fantastic past 2 years outside of a couple of games within each of them.
Yeah. Obviously, like you said, fact it took this long for the 49ers to finally get bounced and get handled is, like you said, it's a testament to Kyle Shanahan and his coaching staff and his players. They really embodied next man up, like for real. Mm-hmm. So kudos to them. When it comes to the Seahawks, they handled business like they should have. Sam Darnold didn't have to, didn't have to have a monster night. Only had 17 attempts, so had a touchdown. But here's one thing that I'm taking away from this game. I would keep eye on that Zach Charbonnet injury with him going out and being out for the rest of the playoffs, because that that two-headed monster with him and Kenneth Walker was looking pretty good down the stretch. And he, he'll be missed on that championship Sunday. Uh, Zach Charbonnet.
I don't know.
I I
I don't know. I mean, again, I do think that Walker is the clearly better running back. I think it's nice to have multiple options, but I think that was the best aspect of Chardonnay was just that he's a second person, like that personally.
but when he had Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker both doing their thing, it was refreshing because it was taking the load off the Sam. And so if you're in a pressure packed moment like that, and you got two running backs that's going to keep the chain moving, keep the opposing team off the field, and get into the end zone, like they could literally run the ball damn near 14 times in a row and go. And you're right, Kenneth Walker, he is more the home run hitter, the better running back because he's shown it this year.
Yeah.
He's finally was showing this year what I think a lot of people were really wanting to see from him coming out of Michigan State was that Kenneth Walker. But I know he's battled some injury problems, staying healthy too.
Had a great rookie year, and then he kind of dipped a bit. But the talent was still there. I think.
Yeah.
To show it. But yeah, I mean, looks very dominant top to bottom team. Very well rounded team. I guess the main question is when Darnold can't just hand the ball off a ton, like now because he's going against the Rams now, who are also a loaded, very well rounded team. I think the Rams offense is better and the Seahawks defense is better, but both sides of the ball on both teams are very, very good. Darnold might have to engage in a shootout, and we'll see what he looks like when he has to do that against that defensive line. Maybe he'll be able to get his revenge against them for what they did to him last year.
Oh man, we'll see. But that was Saturday's action, and then Sunday's action, man. Start off with the Texans and Patriots, and man, when I say man, is this neither one of these teams won the winning damn game? There was so many damn turnovers in this damn game. Definitely a very defensive game. All right.
So I have my hottest of hot takes. The real hot take that more than anything I wanted this episode for. And the reason why is because as someone who suffered through the Tom Brady dynasty, as a Giants fan, although, there were parts worth celebration as a Giants fan, but who suffered through the Tom Brady dynasty, I'm seeing things and I would like to give a warning because I'm seeing a lot of similarities.
Not the warning.
I'm giving a warning. I'm giving the prophecy. So because Tom Brady has entered GOAT status, consensus GOAT status, in terms of the way that most people see him and the wider world sees him, he has benefited from a lot of revisionist history. And when I say that, because this happens to like the GOAT of almost every sport, right? Like they become mythologized. Tom Brady has entered that and become mythologized. But he didn't retire that long ago. So most of us were alive for when he was playing. And a very, very common criticism of him when he was playing was that he very consistently benefited from an elite structure around him and on his defense. And he would win many, many games that he individually did not deserve to win. Playoff games, regular season games. I mean, everyone remembers Matt Castle. not having started a football game since high school, entering that same structure and winning 11 games. And I say, as a Chiefs fan, I'm sure you remember the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, where Patrick Mahomes set a record for most pressures within a Super Bowl with his offensive line. That defense was destroying the number one defense in the NFL. The Seahawks definitely remember another one that Tom Brady's defense won for them. So I say all of that to say this. Are you not seeing a potentially familiar pattern with the Patriots recently?
Oh, Lord.
So the regular season, they benefit from the easiest schedule of the 21st century.
Yes, he said that. Oh,
it is. Like, statistically, it is the easiest schedule of the 21st century that they had in the regular season. The only good and healthy team that they beat was the Bills, who they split with. They beat the Ravens, but they didn't have Lamar. The Buccaneers were starting their implosion, and that was basically it for any team that was anywhere near the playoffs. I think that's correct. You can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I think that's correct. So anyway, they go into the playoffs, and now we have to look at what they look like against better teams.
Yep.
A historically bad offensive performance from the Chargers offense, with Justin Herbert leading an offense to only 3 points behind third-string offensive linemen. A historically bad Texans offensive performance, which we will talk about, with 4 first-half interceptions. Jared Stidham. And then they're going to be in the Super Bowl. After all of that, this looks eerily familiar to the Tom Brady years. The sheer amount of luck for Drake May to get to the Super Bowl, which he probably will now.
Sheer amount of luck. I mean,
the insane amount of luck. And let's look at what Drake May actually did in those 2 playoff games. Against the Chargers, he led his team to 16 points. He had 5 sacks. He had 2 fumbles and an interception. And one of those fumbles was recovered by the other team. One of them he got bailed out of. In this game against the Texans, 5 turnovers, 4 fumbles, and 1 interception. He got bailed out of, I think, 2 of those fumbles by his teammates, but 5 turnovers. And if you think about the amount of possessions he was given with easy field position by CJ Stroud.
Oh, Lord.
The fact that they still barely won this game, a game that was within a score up until basically the end, does this not look familiar to you?
Man.
He was under 60% completion percentage in both games.
Oh, man, it was bad.
He only had 179 yards in one of them. And he still won. And guess where his defense is ranked? Top 8 in yards, top 4 in scoring. And maybe that's inflated a bit by all the bad teams that they got to play, because that helps the defense too. But I'm just saying that averages to about a top 7 defense, which is what Tom Brady averaged throughout his career.
Oh, man. Drake.
It's happening again.
Drake May, he should be happy that the opposing quarterback is CJ Stroud. Because CJ Stroud, for the second week in a row, did all that he could in his power to make sure that his team was offense was not going to be efficient. Because this man, for the life of the Texans fans. Stop playing with the emotions, CJ Stroud. I don't look. I think it's time to have the conversation, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if CJ's it's almost like the rookie season was so far long ago now. That was 2 years ago, but it seems like it was forever ago. What that CJ where'd that CJ Stroud go?
So I have a friend that works at PFF, and I was talking to him about this game, and one thing that he's in my one of my fantasy football groups, one of many, and he I asked him what he thought about CJ Stroud, like what he thought about that whole thing. Like, did he think that the Texans had the ability to fix him with a benefited offensive line? And what he said was, if you actually look at his rookie season, he had one of the highest what's called turnover worthy plays. People just didn't catch them.
Mm.
He had some of the highest turnover worthy plays, but also some of the lowest interceptions because they would just bounce off players' hands. Just luck. There's a good chance that this is what CJ Stroud kind of always was, and he just got insanely lucky in his first year. I think he was clearly better, right? Like even considering that, I think he was clearly better in his first year than either of the two that followed. This is probably his worst year, even worse than last year. It's been a steady decline. I think that the fact that the offensive line has been as bad as it's been has hurt his development. I think that he plays very flinchy. He plays very his processing always seems off now. Like it seems like he feels like he has to get the ball out in like 0.01 seconds because he's so used to having such a bad offensive line. But a lot of those mistakes are not because of his offensive line. Like the one interception that he threw where he just kind of yeeted it up while he was being hit. It's like, why would you throw that? Like, you turn around, you don't look, and you just yeet it up. Like, if you know you're being rushed and you're about to be hit, throw it to the side.
Or just take the sack.
You were up. It was 10-7. The Texans were up. Why are you doing that?
You know what's crazy? It killed all the Texans' momentum offensively because they just had a scoring drive right before that. They had a good drive, and CJ actually had a couple of throws on that drive. Where I was like, okay, CJ. And then he turned around and did that yeeted. I said, what the hell are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
CJ Stroud does that. He gives you those, what the hell are you doing?
He just looks lost out there. And I mean, this last year is really going to be his test. If the Texans do what they should have done in last year's offseason and really fix that offensive line, I'm talking absolute haul of new personnel there. I mean, Trent Brown is probably not getting re-signed. He's a free agent. He's older. Get a really good right tackle. Get a really good center. Get really good guards. Ariante Ursary looks fine, but like outside of that, all new personnel. All of them. I'm so serious. Yeah, free agency in the draft, like just spam offensive line, and then see what he looks like after that.
That's fair.
If he looks like this again, you're going to be looking for a new quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to give him an extension after that. You have a Super Bowl caliber defense. You have a good enough wide receiver group. This is a win now team. They can't afford to be held back entirely by their quarterback. Which is, I mean, yeah, I think the same thing of the Vikings. That's what I've been saying about them. Like, they're a win now roster aside from the quarterback. This looks like that too, except the offensive line is also bad.
And it's so crazy that CJ Stroud has literally just wasted a Super Bowl caliber defense. And they were doing their part. They were trying to score. they were scoring in some games, and I'm just like, man, they tried everything to get this team to the next round, and your quarterback is just, hey, you want the football here? Oh my gosh, that hurt my soul to watch, man.
Yeah, no, I've been rooting for CJ Stroud. It sucks. I think, and I think a lot of people believed like the offensive line was the only problem, but no,
No,
I think the problem. A lot of these are not explainable by that. I think CJ Stroud himself is a problem right now.
CJ is a problem now. To give him some bail, yes, the offensive line is not good. That does play a part into it, but like you said, if when you are given the time, you got to be, on it. And obviously, I will say this: he hasn't had consistency at officer coordinator, and they keep carouseling that job down there in Houston. So
True.
he needs some stability. All right, he needs one coach, one voice that needs to have that connection with him for 3-4 years, get the best out of him, and then that's how you get. That's first of all, that's how you get elevated to a head coaching job, whether it's at that same building or somewhere else. If you're OC, um, I developed CJ Stroud. Yeah, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because right now he needs a turnaround, and he needs it quick.
I mean, this is kind of, and this is another thing when we talk about like organizations that aren't well run that kind of get like lucked into certain players or whatever. Like this, I mean, they did a serious damage to the development of Derek Carr in what seems like a pretty similar way. They never gave him an offensive line, and he also regressed.
Yeah,
And it looks like that might be what's happening here.
that's crazy. The ghost of that.
No, I mean, that's right. Like it's not dissimilar.
No, I hear you. But so yeah, because offensive line issues, and CJ, he said, man, I ain't trying to sit over here and get hit like that, man. Like, no, right? So, it's crazy though.
And also before anyone, because I know to my Drake May.
Oh Lord,
my Drake May concerns. I know the response. I know what it's going to be. He won against one of the fourth best and the best defenses in the NFL. So it's blah blah blah, all of that. Like, okay, but against the Chargers, he had 1 touchdown to 3 turnovers, and the 1 touchdown was when the game was already way out of balance.
Yeah.
And in this one, he had 3 touchdown drives, but again, look how many possessions he was just handed by CJ Stroud in great field position. So no, it's happening again. You should be very afraid. The NFL might be bad again for the next 20 years. Because the Patriots are a team that uses devil magic, and it's happening again. Demon magic, doing satanic rituals.
Yo, not the.
It will be foretold.
Crazy, bro. Wait, hold on. Like, y'all, you do know that y'all won the Super Bowls. Y'all ain't got to be having this much hatred towards them to call them that, bro. Y'all won.
I know we won. We were the demon slayers, but that demon lived for 20 years.
They damn near Stranger Things demon walking ass motherfucking shit, bro. Hey, this is absolutely crazy. But like, yeah, man. I will say that's probably the only thing to draw back to this whole situation with the Patriots is I do not need that fan base coming out the ground, out the sewers and shit, coming out of hibernation. Because it's been great to not hear from them for the last 25 years.
Yeah, and they're getting loud again.
Oh,
They're
exactly.
getting loud about Drake Mays 1 to 3 touchdown turnover ratio and 3 to 5 touchdown turnover ratio, and being like, this is the GOAT. He's the second greatest only to our Lord and Savior. Like, they're getting there. Drake, May. Like, I'm seeing it everywhere.
Oh my goodness. It's gonna be, I will say this, it's gonna be interesting to see how the voting goes between him and Stafford, because I think those are the top two, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I would love to see a MVP versus MVP candidate Super Bowl, and that is my prediction. But what, spoiler alert for when we get into it. But yeah, okay. Who would you make MVP? I think I've been pretty clear over which one I would pick. Who are you picking and why?
Oh, it's definitely Matthew Stafford. For me, just because it's almost as if this guy is, it defies the odds. He supposedly came in with a huge back problem, and 4 or 5 weeks later, I'm like, are we sure this guy got a back injury? Because this man taking that pill.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the man's been on a just Super Bowl ring 2 chase mindset type of attitude, where he's been pretty much locked in. Is the best way to describe that. He's been locked in as hell. I know he had a couple of games, especially down the stretch of the regular season. You're like, damn, what you doing losing to the Falcons? And again, solid defense that the Falcons got. So I'm not going to poo-poo on what they did. Give them their credit, but yeah, Stafford's been the guy for me. I think since week 7 or 8, probably round 9, or more or less. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think that he will also benefit from some lifetime achievement award type voters, because there's so much subjectivity that goes into these. A lot of people have like such different criteria over what matters to them, and I do think, because like with Protector of the Year, we're getting, this is a kind of similar conversation. We're getting the Protector of the Year award for the first time, and a lot of people are pushing for it to be Trent Williams.
Yeah.
And as Trent Williams is great, and he's still playing very good.
He is.
But there's no real case for saying he's been the best offensive lineman in the entire NFL if you look at the stats. But people want to give it to him because it's like, well, this award didn't exist when he clearly would have won it like 5 years straight. So let's give it to him now. We can give it to, I don't know, Sewell, Bowles, Thomas, whoever, Tooney, Humphrey at like another time. But we want to give it to him now. And like I get it. I do think that Stafford's going to kind of benefit from that same, narrative driven, because MVPs are so often narrative driven.
Yeah.
If Stafford's going to retire after this year, we want him to ride to the sunset with an MVP and potentially a Super Bowl appearance or even win. And they might manufacture that. Now, I think he deserves it regardless. I think that if he won it, it would be the correct call anyway. But I do think he will benefit from that aspect of it.
Manufactured or not, he's the best candidate.
Yes. Exactly.
No, you got a point. And speaking of Matthew Stafford, man, that game between the Rams and the Bears, man, that I absolutely enjoyed that football game, man. Absolutely enjoyed that. So just to be fair, that's how I roll. I think Caleb Williams made some great plays, but you can't make those boneheaded plays in the crunch time. Can't do that.
Right.
That interception was bad. He really just kind of just whoop.
Right. So, and it's funny because the Rams won the game, but I feel like there's much more conversation about the Bears. Even though they lost, there's more to talk about with them. The Rams played a steady-ish game, Stafford didn't have a great game because the defense really did hold him. Uh, but he played, he didn't turn the ball over. He played efficient football, and that was enough to get the job done in this case.
Yeah.
Caleb, after last week when I had said he had one of the best throws I've ever seen in my life, that throw
yeah,
from last week where his feet were wrapped up and he was falling and he got the first down pass off to I believe Loveland. The pass to tie the game in regulation is probably the greatest pass I've ever seen, and I can't say that hyperbolically. Like, I don't want to say that hyperbolically. I screamed at my TV. I screamed what the fuck at my TV. I'll keep it 100p. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that and see, that's the things that you look at Caleb and you like, yo, that's great. Who makes that throw? Who does that? Like,
those Mahomes Rodgers comparisons look pretty spot on right now. And I can't think of anyone besides maybe those two.
And that's what I'm saying, Randy. Like, he's doing stuff that literally you probably count on one hand of guys on this planet Earth that could do that. And I'm just like, oh, okay. My bad, dog. I should have never doubted you. I was talking shit about you for the last year and a half. I thought you was a buzzing. No, bro. No, Caleb Williams is out here doing some crazy things, but but you can't follow it up with the boneheaded interceptions. Like, he airmailed that bitch, dog.
No, he's another boomer bust guy. Like, and that's it's actually a pretty similar conversation to Josh Allen, because he's, in both cases, they're both capable of some absolutely insane shit, and then it's this like oh shit, Caleb, and then it's like, ah shit, Caleb. Like, it's
hey, that tone switch up real quick. Hey,
right.
Real quick.
Same thing with Josh, right? Like, it's that same feeling. And like a lot of people blame DJ Moore for like a bad route run that led to that interception. It was kind of, I guess, hard for me to tell, but maybe it was a mix of both. But yeah, I mean, like, as soon as the Bears were down, I put money on them, and they've done it every time. And then the one time I put money on them to end up winning doesn't happen, because of course it doesn't. I don't know, but it's like football analysis. It's the offensive line has given him a great infrastructure. The receiving core has given him a great infrastructure. The fact that he has the time to make those superhuman throws is also a testament to that offensive line. And I think that this team, they didn't make it this time. They were so close. This team is going to be a serious threat for a long time. They have a young quarterback who's capable of doing that shit, with one of the best O-lines in the NFL, one of the best receiving groups in the NFL.
Yeah.
They have a defense that's able to get takeaways like crazy. They just got to build up the D-line to get some stops. And yeah, they have not just a really, really good coach, a young coach.
Yeah.
They could have him for a while. He could have like a Tomlin like Tomlin like career with them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It looks good now, for sure. Made it to the second round of the playoffs. I definitely give them credit on that. And let's real quick, let's kind of run through these AFC. I mean, if you want to go ahead, throw some picks for AFC, NFC, who's representing in the Super Bowl, man, and talk about it real quick. Break down the AFC Championship game. Obviously, Broncos without Bo Nix, ankle got jacked up in that last game against the Buffalo Bills. They take on Drake May, New England Patriots.
So
man,
due to the aforementioned Satan magic.
I know, right?
Yeah, Jared Stidham is starting for the Broncos in this game because, of course, that's what would happen next. Yeah, I mean the Patriots are undoubtedly going to. Well, not undoubtedly. We could get a super random Jared Stidham masterclass a la Nick Foles.
Don't do that. Don't speak that in existence, bro. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm speaking that because I would be so happy if that happened. I don't think it will, but oh damn, wouldn't it be great? Yeah, I mean like the Patriots are the very very heavy favorites because Jared Stidham is out. I think that if Jared Stidham plays well, because there's been the whole system quarterback, you're uplifted by your own line and defense narrative around Bo Nix. Sometimes he's deserved that, sometimes he hasn't deserved that. This is gonna be a test for that narrative. Like, how much do we actually believe in Bo Nix? Is it really him? I think it is really him. But if Jared Stidham balls out, we'll have to look at that. With like, is it just another Sean Payton masterclass? We'll see. But yeah, Patriots are the favorites there because of the quarterback. Rams and Seahawks is, I think, the more interesting game. And the reason it's the more interesting game is we've seen both of these teams, again, who are absolutely loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. We've seen them both beat each other in the regular season. This is the rubber match. And I am inclined to say the Rams win because I think that because the defenses are both great, the receiving groups are both great, the running backs are both good, the offensive lines have both been pretty good. I know that the Seahawks have had sometimes some issues here and there, but much better than last year. I think that it really just comes down to which quarterback do I trust more, and I trust Stafford more than Darnold. And that's the tiebreaker for me. So I'm giving it to the Rams there, and I do think we are going to get a battle of the MVP candidates, which is also, I think, a good thing for the integrity of the voting, because I don't know when the voting is officially over, but I wish that the regular season awards were given before the playoffs started, because they're not supposed to include the playoffs, but I'm sure that sometimes they do. I'm sure that they do want to avoid like a Dirk Nowitzki situation where they give the award to him immediately after getting eliminated. People, so many times it gets conflated with like, oh, but this guy's never won a Super Bowl. This guy's never made it to the Super Bowl, whatever. When it comes to like Lamar, for instance, it's like we can't give that guy an MVP. It's like, well, that's not what this is for, though.
Yeah.
So
because they're literally giving out that MVP literally the night before the weekend of the Super Bowl. So
right. So if Stafford and May are going against each other in the Super Bowl, then at least it both the intrigue of that and also like, well, this couldn't have influenced your vote because they're both here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would make for a fun Super Bowl, and I do think that is what we're going to end up getting. What are your predictions?
Broncos going to need a miracle. As good as their defense is, you can't move the ball on them. You can't score on them. I don't think they're as dominant as Houston's defense. So even Bo Nix, had he been able to play or didn't get injured, it's still been rough sledding. But he would have made a couple plays here and there. So you do lose that capability right there. Jared Stidham, I don't know how the hell he's still around in the league, but I guess every team needs some backup. So, yeah. Good luck with that. If he wasn't going against a Patriots defense that's actually pretty solid in themselves, and they're playing underrated. Like, Mike Vrabel. I mean, he was going to have the defense, right? So, I don't like Jarrett Stidham's chances. So, I won't be surprised if Patriots win by double digits in this joint, because that Broncos defense at some point is going to get worn down.
Yeah.
In as much as I brag or bust Josh McDaniels' chops, I think he's a little goofy. I don't think he's silly enough not to take advantage of. All right, let's just try to do our best to just run the ball and get these dogs tired. Because at some point they're gonna have to cave in. Because they got Jarrett Stidham, bro.
Yeah. Right, exactly. It's like he's not doing much. Just keep the defense on the field for a while and just get them tired.
Exactly. So Patriots, we're gonna have to hear that crap from them. Patriots zombies coming out the woodwork. I'm a Patriots fan since 2001. Okay.
Right. Yeah. They slowly take the Chiefs hat off, put the Patriots hat back on.
But yeah, NFC. Man, I just think Stafford's playing on another level, man. So I think we get a rematch of Rams and Patriots. Was it Super Bowl 53? But had it been, they had Jared Goff at that point in time. So Stafford's going like, nah, man, this is how you should have done it. So,
well, we can get more than 3 points.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So I'm seeing Rams Patriots, man. Rams Patriots. So yeah, man. Hey, man, Randy, appreciate you, man. Always enjoy chopping it up with you, man. Appreciate you tapping in on not our typical Tuesday, but on a Wednesday. Here we are, man. So, man, I appreciate you, my brother, man.
Yeah, no, 100% happy to be here.
No doubt. Other than that, if you need some audio needs, you can tap in with Randy Panther on Acid on Instagram. You can tap in with me personally, KC Wildcard on Twitter. Follow me and all the other stuff that I got going on, projects and whatnot. Hey, and I.O.W Sports Network, man. We appreciate y'all. Show some love, some support. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. You dig? All right? Because support is free, and we appreciate y'all. But other than that, man, we'll holler at y'all, man. Go enjoy some good weekend of football. Stay warm if you're in certain areas, because I know we about to get hit with some snow. So make sure you hit the stove and don't take all the milk and eggs and bread as if that's a way to survive. What happens when the power goes out, fool? Anyway, hey, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We out. I'll let y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Solid Hill TD, yes, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card Mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo, cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card Mar.